What's up, YouTube? Tech Guy Hodger here, and in this video what I'm going to be doing is just going through a bit of news which I heard over the week, which I found interesting, and to let you guys know that I've now got a new website. So let's kick it off. R.E.M has admitted that they were behind the whole Wake Up protest campaign which was being held at the Apple Store in Australia. If you didn't hear about this, what happened was a bus pulled up at an Apple Store in Australia, and a lot of people came out with banners and posters and just boards saying "Wake Up," and it was a bit like a protest. What they were trying to do was it was targeted at the Apple fanboy, and they were just saying, think about other phones, think about what else is out there. Some of them, apparently, according to what I've read, they were dressed up as sheep to symbolize the herd in terms of Apple fanboys. At first, when this happened, everyone thought it has to be Samsung. Samsung are probably the ones that did this, seeing as they've had so much issues with Apple and lawsuits left, right, and center. But then R.E.M came out and said, look, it was us, we did this, and we are to blame. And I think what people really need to understand is that, especially R.E.M, just because a certain company is doing better than you does not mean you go out there and start targeting them and their customers. I can't see. Okay, I'm not going to favor Apple. I can't see any other. I think it's a disappointment to the company, and it's a bit of it's a shame to the company that do such a thing. Because if you don't have confidence in your own brand, and this is clearly showing that, because if you have to go out and target other companies, that shows that you don't have trust in your own brand. And if you can't trust your own brand, how can you expect your consumers to trust your brand? I mean, come on. So that was one news, and let's move on to the next one. Have you wanted to build an app but don't know any coding? Well, a company which goes by the name of Radical Flow has come out and said that we will offer you. It's a bit like, well, what they've done is they put it up on Kickstarter and they need $75,000. Sorry if I'm looking down, it's just because the article's on my iPad. They need $75,000, and what this is, imagine, okay, you know how you make a website sometimes without the coding, like if you use the online tools and stuff, where you just insert, it's like drag and drop, where you put your pictures, videos, text and everything, and then the website handles all the coding themselves, and then you put your website up there, but you don't really know what's going on in the back end in terms of code and all the rest of it. It's basically that, but for apps. So if you've got an app that you've been wanting to make, but you're like, I don't know a single line of code, I can't write a single line of code to save my bloody life. This is basically for you. So what they do, they give you a blank canvas, you drag and drop and edit and color and whatever you want to do in terms of your buttons, your layout, any kind of text you want coming up when you click a button, what kind of actions are made. You do all of that, and then the coding is handled by the people at Radical Flow, where they basically make your app in terms of the coding, and then you can publish it on the App Store. Another thing I found interesting is that you can publish your app without having to require an Apple developers program. I don't know how that would work. Maybe you publish it to them and they publish it on your behalf. Is that a good thing? Maybe, because then you literally have to you basically deal with 0% of the work, apart from making the app itself, like the layout, the way it looks and everything. But then other than that, everything's handled by them. Personally, I would love this. Like, there's been a time where I'm like, let's try making an app and see how it goes. But then you're like, I don't know coding, I don't know anything, I don't know coding. Hopefully when I go to university, seeing as I'm going to be learning about that, I will pick it up. But currently I don't know much in terms of coding. So this is beneficial to me. But one thing I would like is for me to be able to publish it under my own name. So that if in the future you want to start a company which makes apps, you've already got a few apps in your portfolio which you can which are like an example of your work. Whereas if these guys are publishing it, you can't. It is yours. You know you made it, but at the bottom where it says published by or anything, it's gonna be their name, which is Radical Flow. So if there's an option where you can publish it under your own name with your own Apple developers ID or whatever, then I guess this is amazing. Imagine Apple buying them out and making a new version of Xcode and everything, where you don't really need to know any kind of code. That would be interesting. So let's see what else we have. So you've got a massive iPad. Well, not like however much the size is. You can only run one app at a time. Okay, there's multitasking in terms of the multitasking tray that pops up at the bottom. But true multitasking, running 2, 3 apps at the same time. I mean, come on, I think there's a lot of people that would want a web browser on one side, a Pages document open on the other side, working, research. If you've got a jailbroken iPad, which is not currently available for the iPad 3, but iPad 2 and iPad 1, if you've got any of those 2 iPads and they're jailbroken, there's a new app called, I can't say this, Qza. I'll put the links at the bottom. It's basically QUASAR. I'm not even going to try saying it, forget it. Basically, what that lets you do is you can run multiple apps on your iPad. So what it does is that you've got an app open. I don't know, I haven't tested it because I've got an iPad 3 and there's no jailbreak for that at the moment. So what this basically does is, I haven't seen the video, but you basically press a button on your app and then it shrinks it down into the size of an iPhone app, and then you can place it around your screen, so you can have Twitter open at one section of your iPad screen. You can have a web browser open on another section of your screen, and then etc. So this is really good if you want what they say true multitasking on your iPad. And now to the final bit of news, which is my own personal bit of news. I have launched a new website. I'll make a separate video on it properly later on. Don't know when, but I will. And what it basically is just information about me, how you can get in contact with me, my YouTube, a blog, and one main thing which is basically what the website kind of revolves around, if you could say. It's the new store called TGH iAccessories, which is basically the initials for my YouTube name, Tech Guy Hodget. So it's TGH iAccessories, and as in the name, it's accessories for your iDevice. So currently what I have is iPhone cases, chargers, and headphones. A lot of stuff will be coming later on. So that's basically it. TGH iAccessories is a new thing that I'm starting. It was launched a few days ago. I know I didn't make a video about it because I was too busy in getting it all up and running. It's gone a lot of success as it's launched. I've had a few people being interested buying cases, and they've been happy. So yeah, what you can do is you can go to www.techguyhodget.com. Links down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again another time in another video. Take care.